Hey there, everybody. How are you doing? It's Miguel here with his daily. I'm giving you the deets. I'm giving you the info on what's going on in the world. Okay, well, wait a second. Maybe I'm not giving you all the deets or all the info. Okay, maybe I'm giving you no deets, no info. That's just the way it's got to be, I think. I just had a carrot. Actually, I had two carrots. I As you know, I've been weightlifting lately, and I've been weightlifting pretty regularly for the last year and a half. And I've really started making a lot of progress lately, and I think largely that progress is the result of me eating more. Definitely eating more protein, but just eating more calories in general. So that's great. I'm super happy with it. But there's a flip side to the problem, to the issue. And that is I'm gaining weight and I'm gaining fat. And I understand there may not be a way around it. Or if there is, it might be a very tedious way, a way that requires very strict calorie counting, which is fine because I'm definitely a calorie counter. But here's the problem: my family life makes it a little more challenging to do that regularly. So I think I'm gonna have to use some other method. I've been checking out calorie counting and using apps to do that like MyFitnessPal, but for some reason I don't necessarily have the motivation to put all my food in the smartphone in the app. It's much easier for me to just write it down on a sheet of paper and a tablet for some reason. I'm not sure why. The tablet is just easier, but and maybe that's what I should be doing. Anyway, I'm noticing that I'm gaining some weight, I'm gaining some fat, which is great. But like I said, it's I just am not used to having so much fat on my body, and well, I'm actually used to it. It's just I don't care for it. I don't like it very much because of my past. I had a past when I was particularly overweight. I don't expect that I'll ever get that overweight again, but I have been overweight in my day, and so I do have the ability to sort of go overboard with food. There's something about food that I really enjoy, and I can eat it all day long, really. Um, and so that's why, for me, calorie counting has been such a staple of my diet. And it calorie counting definitely has its place. Certainly has its place when it comes to weight loss. I think I lost like 80 pounds of fat using calorie counting, and I'm very confident with calorie counting. But here, but it's just not practical for me to do it in the family arrangement, in the family setting, because quite often what it involves is me um, making my own food, making very simple food, and then weighing it all, which is fine. It doesn't take a lot of time, but I think it can get annoying. My food choices are pretty basic when I do it, and I don't know. It's easier for a singleton to do calorie counting than it is for someone who's not. So I'm having to find an alternative. I'm using MyFitnessPal now, and I'm having some success with it. I guess I need to use the program more often. And I'm also using some other methods. For example, I'm trying to drink more water, maybe trying to eat more vegetables, trying to eat more low calorie or calorie free foods. Well, we'll see how it goes, right? Anyway, I'm sort of on a journey, a weight gaining journey, which is great. Let me tell you, I get a lot of satisfaction from my weightlifting routine. I mean, I get PR after PR after PR every day. It's a personal record in terms of the number of sets, the number of reps, the duration that I'm doing exercise, the intensity that I'm doing exercise. It's fantastic. I feel great when I exercise. I've never been stronger in my entire life. And I've got a little bit of extra fat around my belly, which it's all right. But What I'm also finding is that I'm going to probably have to buy some newer clothes, which is not altogether that bad because parts of my body are expanding. Like my biceps are getting bigger, my triceps are getting bigger, my thighs definitely are getting bigger from all the squats I've been doing, which is great news. But yeah, this whole idea of buying new clothes, which is not a problem, but I don't know, it's sort of a change in my mind, sort of a change in my thinking. And, I've spent so many years overweight that I don't care to be overweight. And I've spent so many years losing weight that I feel very satisfied in a weight loss phase. Now I'm sort of faced with this idea of me gaining weight and, with faced with the decision of buying clothes that are a little larger than the ones that I'm wearing. And it's not a big deal. It's not going to get bad. I mean, all those, I'm very much aware of the bad habits that I had in the past. And I'm not going to ever go back there. That's for sure. So, really, I guess what I've got to do is I've got to start practicing acceptance. Just recognizing that sometimes you got to get beefy in order to become a beefcake. I know. I know. It, you know, it's sort of the definition of beefcake. And so, anyway, I think that's fine. I don't think I'm going to have any difficulty making the transition, but I'm feeling it, I'm saying, I'm thinking, feeling my belly. I'm thinking, oh man, this belly is a little bit bigger than I'm used to because I'm used to not having a belly at all. So it's interesting. We'll see how I end up negotiating that. I may not have to do anything. Maybe I just have to decide not to fall into bad eating habits, which I think is entirely reasonable. Maybe I should just focus on that because I'm still, and will be for a long time perhaps, in terms of BMI, having a normal weight, and I certainly expect that to happen. And I also have a very normal body fat percentage right now. I'm around 12% body fat. It's something I don't care for. I'd much rather be in the 10% body fat range. But I'm not sure if I can make that happen and continue making the gains in the gym that I'm making. It's certainly easy. I guess that's one thing. That's why I really enjoy what I'm doing because it's easy. I mean, I'm making the gains in the gym and I'm eating however I want to. I'm doing it smartly. Using whole foods and trying to eat organic and trying to limit my portion sizes and all, or at least not going overboard. Trying to make wise decisions. But it's kind of. I guess I have this in the dark recesses of my mind. I'm asking myself, well, is this going to get out of control? And and of course, the answer is no, because I'm really a fastidious, focused, organized, conscientious eater, and I don't expect that things will go out the window because I'm not going to throw things out the window. So I just really have to get used to being sort of more relaxed in my approach to dieting and more relaxed in allowing a little bit more percent body fat that I'm used to, and just go with the flow for a little while. I mean, here's the thing. I have utmost confidence. I have 100% confidence that if I wanted to lose, say, 5 or 10 pounds in a month's time, well, maybe about a pound a week, I could do it. I'd have no trouble. That that I've got 100% confidence that I could do that. So I can always use that as a fallback, I guess. If I start getting to the 14-15% body fat range, then I'll go, whoa, pull the brakes on. I'll go back down to single digit body fat numbers. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, and if I could do that quickly, if I could lose say 10 pounds in 10 weeks, Well, here's the thing. One thing I learned when it comes to weight loss is that it's much better to be gradual in the weight loss journey. Although, I could certainly lose weight quickly because I know how. It's certainly a little bit less comfortable. And I don't think I would, if I did lose weight very quickly, I think I might walk away with some injuries in the gym. So, anyway, I don't know. I'm balancing all these ideas. And so, anyway, let's talk about another subject, perhaps. Well, I've been encouraged lately about the news about the coronavirus vaccine becoming available soon. I'm definitely looking forward to receiving it one of these days. I have heard whispers of it coming available sometime in December of 2020, but who knows? It will likely be January, I guess. Um, Looks like there might be multiple vaccines available, and so we'll see. We'll see how quickly I can get myself one. For me, here's where the main point is. Looks like the world is moving to a place where there's a lot of coronavirus infections every day, and my key my main idea, my key point for my strategy over the next 2 or 3 months is to avoid getting the virus just over the next 30 to 60 days. 30, 60, 90 days. If I can just avoid getting that virus, that would be a good thing. That is a low risk. That would be like a low risk gambit, like a low risk play. And that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to hunker down. I'm going to do my best to hunker down as much as I can and just stay home. I'm just going to do the best I can. And we'll see how that goes. I think there's a good chance of that happening. And then, here's the thing about me, which is great. The great thing about me is I recognize what I'm seeing in the media and also from the doctors that are sort of working with COVID patients. And what I'm seeing is that they're using PPE, and the PPE is protecting them very effectively from getting this disease. And what's great is that I'm very much an advocate for PPE, personal protective equipment. And so I'm just going to, basically, I'm going to hunker down as much as I can and use my PPE to the best extent that I can. And to be reasonable in its use and to use it often and effectively, and to, don and doff that PPE in ways that make sense so that I don't end up infecting myself. So that's the plan. Will it work? I don't know. This virus, boy, yeah, the virus has definitely hit what I would call, and what a lot of people would call, exponential increase. Man, if only the US could have kept it under control for like another 30 to 60 days, Here's the thing. Our community, our culture hasn't really come across a problem like this in recent years. And so we just don't know. And unfortunately, we're just learning how to deal with this kind of problem. We've had this problem for years in regard to, let's say, STDs and the flu virus and the cold viruses, but there's always been this, what I'd call like a moral argument to pay it as little mind as possible. I'm not sure what it is, whether it's like human laziness or there are whole cultural things around STDs and colds and flu, and just sort of like there's like this acceptance of this harm that's brought about by STDs and viruses, that I think there's just a worldwide change, a worldwide shift in sort of the values associated with these diseases and how ultimately I think we're recognizing that they don't have to happen. It's very akin to what happened with the AIDS epidemic, 40 years ago. Anyway, maybe it wasn't 40, but maybe it was 30. Anyway, my time is up. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.